Ladies and gentlemen, I can honestly say that there are a lot of things that I've taken away from my time and tenure spent in the Philippines. And in today's video, we're just going to go into the top three things that I think are not necessarily the most prominent or things that I feel are the only things that you can get from time and experience abroad, more specifically the Philippines, but things that relatively have stayed in my mind throughout my life since moving back to the United States from the Philippines. All right. So this is the Good Dot, ladies and gentlemen. Good Dot back again once again. Let's go ahead and lock in. Without further ado, this is not in any particular order, but the last one I did save for a specific reason. Okay. But number one, the first thing that the Philippines has taught me that I feel like it'll teach you if you ever become a foreigner that goes to the Philippines is patience. Ladies and gentlemen, going to a place like the Philippines will definitely teach you patience. And if you've ever been, you've probably had this experience as well, where you go to certain restaurants, where you go to certain places, and the things that you want to order are not available. Waitress, waiter, whoever it is, not available, mom, sir. I'm sorry, mom, sir. We do not have that available. You'll hear that shit damn near almost everywhere you go. If you go one day where they got everything that you asked for, it'll be amazingly surprising, in my personal opinion. But for the most part, you have to expect that chances are what you're going to order is probably not going to be available, which in my mind has taught me to have a second and also a third option. And if you're married like me, if you're in a relationship at all, and your girl say, babe, can you go get me something? And they ain't got it, it's in your best interest. And this is what I've learned in my tenure back here in the United States. I do it all the time. I make sure the wife has a second and third option, right? If she's asking for food, baby girl, just in case they ain't got this, what do you want, right? It's taught me to have second and third and even fourth options for food and things like that, because chances are 9 times out of 10, unfortunately, wherever you go, things are just not going to be available, okay? You got to learn patience. I know that we come from a culture where we expect things to be fast, where we expect things to be on point, where we expect all of these things, and when it doesn't happen, it becomes extremely frustrating. I got to be honest with you, in most situations and current landscapes within the Philippines, they do not operate that way. They just do not, right? So where we operate on quick, fast, let's get to it, I got shit to do. You can't be mad at people who do not operate on the same wave as you. So again, when I say that time and country has taught me patience, patience is top of the list, because there have been situations where you just want to goddamn flip some tables, but you can't because A, it's not your country, and B, you have to understand, recognize patience. All right, that's number one. Number two, just because it's a third world country doesn't mean that it doesn't have natural landscapes that are beautiful and modern technology. Now, I know I'm not talking to the primitive minds of yesteryear, but I will say this. Although I did not believe that my first experience in the Philippines would be living in nipa huts or bahay kubos and pissing in outdoor, bathrooms and outhouses and shit, although I didn't think that, it was very hard to understand and know what to expect when coming to a place that is quote unquote considered to be third world, right? You just don't know, right? You hear what third world technically means in the eyes of others, but until you get there and you see all the natural, beautiful landscape, beaches, and all of the nice things that they have, the modern technology and access to things that you probably didn't think you would have access to, only then will you understand that, for the most part, there's very few things that you're going to give up in a life in the United States that you cannot have access to in a place like the Philippines, or probably any other country that you choose to visit outside of the United States. There's very few things that you got to give up. I'm gonna be real with you. Maybe some foods that you may not have access to. I think healthcare is a big deal. So like I said, you're gonna have to find yourself going to higher quality hospitals that may require you to spend a little bit more. But for the most part, I think healthcare, some people say, is kind of not necessarily a sacrifice in the eyes of some, but maybe a sacrifice to others. And I think that really comes down to like major types of things that are necessary, such as surgeries. But if you just need outpatient, because I'm sick, you got bit by a mosquito or something, and you might have the bird flu. What's that shit called? Damn, what was it called? Oh, y'all gonna kill me. the little mosquito disease they got over there. I'm sorry. All right, you have those type of issues, something quick and easy that can be fixed with, I'm gonna give you some pills, give you some fluids or some shit. That's cool, like 100%. But major surgeries and shit, amputation of limbs. I've shared a story before about my wife's relative, and if you don't remember that story, I'm not gonna get into it. But let's just say I would probably never trust major surgeries in the Philippines, right? I'm not saying that this could happen to you, and I'm not saying that it will, but there's a particular story that I have shared in the past for anybody who's been on the channel long enough, wherein some things happen and it made it very hard for me to trust the healthcare system in the Philippines for any type of major things dealing with heart or amputations and things like that, major surgeries, okay? But outside of that, man, I think the Philippines has everything that any other place that you would go will have to offer. Technology up to date, man. The Wi-Fi's for the most part is pretty good, depending on the area and what you get. So I'm just saying, basically, you have the access to it. Things that you thought because it was third world that you wouldn't have access to, chances are you really do have access to it, right? Surprise, bitch. Philippines got it, right? iPhones, they got Samsungs, they got McDonald's, they got Pizza Hut, they got KFC. So all of your modern foods that you would probably eat in the United States, and let's be real, KFC in the Philippines tastes so much better than KFC in the United States on any given day, and the good doc can stand on it. You'll come to find that some of the restaurants there in the Philippines will surprise the fuck out of you. If you go to local restaurants, sometimes they're 20 times better than your fast food, Americanized, type of establishment. So you're not really gonna miss out on much, right? So when I say that what the Philippines has taught me is that there's natural landscapes and environments over there that are just beautiful. And, you have access to modern technology as opposed to you thinking because it's third fucking world that they're going to have nothing. You'll learn that when you get there is basically what I'm trying to say. That's number 3. Now, that's number 2. Number 3, this is where the good doc get down to what he's been trying to wait and hold his tongue on for the entire video. Ladies and gentlemen, number 3, what the Philippines has taught me, and for most men, what I think it will teach you is that all vagina is basically the same. I repeat, all vajayjay, all vajaj, all vaginas, punanas, whatever you want to call it, the kitty cat, is all relatively virtually the same. The only difference is it's packaged differently via characteristics and face. Let me say that one more time for everybody in the nosebleed section. Ladies and gentlemen, all vagina is virtually the same anywhere that you go. The only thing that makes a difference is the packaging. Packaging being characteristics and basically how they look. So I will never tell you that the good doc was over here bagging these young ladies at a very young age when he was in high school, just before he went to the Philippines. I did share in some experiences, y'all. I was not a B, I didn't have my B card. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't out there in the streets like that. But what I did realize is once I got there and I really settled in, honed in on my own, came into my own, whatever you want to call it, and I really started to do my thug thizzle, I realized that there was very few differences, sexual-wise, I guess, between the women that I've dealt with while in the United States versus the women that I dealt with in the Philippines as it pertained to the box itself. What it was the personality, how they treat you as a man, right? The characteristics, and them cute little beautiful Asian face of theirs that kind of set them apart, right? And, moving back to the United States and not snitching on myself, you know what it is. I realized that, hey, Philippines, United States, as far as the box is concerned, very little difference, right? Very, very, very little difference. You feel me? There's not a lot of difference between the box itself. It's just the person or the person containing within the box, right? Or the person holding the box. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand this particular ideology when it comes to me. The one thing that I focus on the most is your personality, who you are as an individual, how you approach me, how we can handle this, how we talk, how well we communicate, and all of that other shit. Because at the end of the day, the box is still going to be the box, all right? And I'm not going to, let me find a great way to say this, right? I want to say this because your boy, he locked down, right? The little thing right here is the bane of my existence. I love my wife, right? But I've been with my wife for a long time prior to us getting married. Long time. Long time. When I say a long time, I mean a long fucking time. I am a creature of habit, right? I like what I like. My wife knows what I like, right? She knows how to take care of me. She knows what I like to eat. She knows how to cook the things that I like to eat. She knows what I like when I come home. I say, baby girl, I need this taken care of. Like, I don't like to iron clothes. I don't like to do that. But my wife, she can do it. I'm not saying that she likes it, but she can do it, right? So I'm like, baby girl, I want to wear this tomorrow. Can you make sure it look good for me? She knocked that shit out for me. But I want you to understand something. If I were to tell you that I'm still with my wife to this day because the sex is good and all that good shit, I'd be lying to you. And I'm not saying that the sex is bad, but you have to understand as a man, if you banging out the same box, and I'm just saying this to be respectful, like this ain't got nothing to do with my wife, but I'm just saying this as a general conversation or general thing to talk about. If you're banging out the same box day in and day out, or week after weekend, month after month, year after year, you're going to get bored with it. Let's just be real. You're going to get bored with it. Like, it's not going to even be something you want to really deal with. Because as men, we always like the new shit. Okay? It's just the truth. After a particular period of time, you get bored with it. So for any guy who chooses to be married for a particular period of time, deal with a young lady for a significant period of time, you have to understand that the reason that they with them probably ain't for the sex anymore, right? Because I can tell you right now, if you getting it in, like I mean getting it in a relationship, unless y'all experiment with some crazy shit every year or something, chances are about 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, maybe even 5 years into your relationship, chances are y'all probably done damn near everything sexually that you want to do as a couple. Let's keep it real. About that time frame, you've done just about everything. Unless you're talking about bringing extra people into the bedroom and all that other shit, chances are you've done everything you needed to do, or everything that you wanted to do. So when a guy is with a young lady for a period of time and they've got this longevity in their relationship, I can almost guarantee that it has absolutely nothing to do with the box. Okay? I can almost guarantee it has nothing to do with just the box. This young lady is in their lives, A, because maybe they have kids together. B, she takes care of that man the way he wants to be taken care of. C, she's just naturally, genuinely a great person to be around and the communication is good. I could just want to be around you because I fuck with you. I like you like that. Sometimes it's just that simple. So when I say it doesn't matter where you go in the world, the box is relatively the same, I mean it. Now, the packaging is different. Personality, characteristics, I do believe that's what tends to separate people who come from the West, for the young ladies who come from the East, and that's where we start to have that divide. That's what I'm trying to say. The personality characteristic fakes changes the game. The box, ladies and gentlemen, is damn near still the box. Now, we got some loose boxes. Got a couple tight boxes, probably more tight boxes over here than loose boxes over here in the West. But you get the point, right? I hope y'all pick up what the good talk is putting down, because I've dragged this video out far longer than I felt I needed to. That's my time, effort, and energy, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate y'all locking in, man. It's been a good doc. Y'all take care. Y'all stay blessed, man. Doc is out.